Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am, because today we're going to be taking a look at these three Marvel Legends figures, none of which really have anything to do with each other, but I did pick them up around the same time, so we're just going to group them together in this one quick review. Today we have the Void Wave Justice figure, the Deluxe Walmart exclusive Joe Fixit, and the X-Men 60th Anniversary Rogue figure. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright, let's get into these figures, and we'll start off with Joe Fixit. Now, this is my mind's eye of Joe Fixit. The blue pinstripe, mainly. The fedora, less so, but I prefer the more calm head as opposed to the creepy, grinning head, but I'll get into that in a minute. So I used to have the Gamerverse Joe Fixit Build-A-Figure in my collection, but the announcement of this figure made me sell that, and now I finally have this look in hand, and I'm glad to finally have it. It's the look I think of when I think Joe Fixit. Maybe if he doesn't have the jacket on, it's still the blue pants and like suspenders and whatnot, but this will be the definitive Joe Fixit for my Hulk shelf when I eventually have one. So I really like how it turned out in terms of the pinstriping all over the suit. There's only like one imperfection, and that's on one of the pockets on the torso. But otherwise, it looks really good. I have both this and the white suit Joe Fixit in my collection now. So this one will go with my Hulk collection. The other one will go with my Wolverine collection, just because of that iconic cover. And I think the look was nailed pretty well here. He's big, intimidating, and properly gray, unlike the original Build-A-Figure of this look. I do appreciate all the accessories, because he does come with a set of fists, a trigger finger hand, and then a kind of grippy hand, plus a Tommy gun. And while you can't get the Tommy gun in a proper double-handed pose just because of the crossbody, you can't get a lot of it because there's no butterflies on this body, but you can still kind of fudge it and make it work. Again, going back to that extra head, it's nice that they included it, but it's a really creepy expression, and I just don't care for it with this Hulk. But that's a lot of the good of the figure. The bad is, of course, the articulation. He is very limited. The single-jointed elbows and the shoulders are super limited. So, like I said a minute ago, the Tommy gun poses are really hard to get properly articulated. And then you got the crossbody and just the suit jacket kind of limiting things. So, while it is a great representation of Joe Fixit, it is just really hard to pose him around properly. So with that, what do I give this figure as in terms of a rating? Well, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I'm very glad to have him. I paid full price for him because I was really wanting this look, but it is by far not a perfect figure. Now moving on to Rogue, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this costume. I know it's one of her earlier costumes from the comics. I plan to read X-Men from the Claremont era on, starting this next year, so I'll probably come across this look then, but as of right now, I did not find a whole lot of images of her wearing this costume when I was trying to find some reference. But overall, as a base figure, it's pretty nice. It's of course built on the pinless female body. I believe it was the Shriek body that originally used this, and the head sculpt looks very, very nice. She has the fists and the standard female wide open hands. Overall, as a base figure, it's fine. It does the job it's meant to do. I just don't have a whole lot of experience with this particular design itself. So getting into the bad of the figure, it's mainly that there's not a lot of accessories to really go off of. Like, there wasn't like a bonus thing to get some inspiration to do a pose or two. I don't know what they could have included. Again, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this. I just was really lacking the inspiration to take photos. I had to kind of reach for a couple ideas, and while I still had some fun, it just was not the experience I was hoping for with this figure. Now, I will say that I only paid $10 for this figure. I was able to get it at Ollie's thanks to Summit City Spidey. I'll leave a link down to his Instagram in the description. So I'm only out $10, and that was what mainly made me make this purchase, because at full price, I was not interested in this figure. At $10, I was like, okay, Now I have it. When I eventually read the X-Men books, I will have this figure if I come across this costume. So at $10, it's not a bad figure just to have ready for when I do read the comics with this look. So she'll just go in with my X-Men Overflow until then. And in the meantime, I'm going to give her a 7 out of 10. It's a pretty average figure, nothing super spectacular. I had an okay time posing her, and I'm happy with my purchase. Moving on to Justice. Now, a little bit different experience with him. I do really appreciate the costume work that they did here. Even though he's built on a pinned body, that doesn't really bother me. It's the way the cape was integrated into the torso sculpt that I really appreciate. It's a brand new upper torso, so that when they add the cape, it is just in line with the way the muscles are formed, and then just creates the cape from there. It's a pretty seamless integration into the costume, which I really do like. And then the overall paint apps on here are really good. Sometimes I get figures that have gold paint apps and they are kind of sloppy in places, but they look really good here. And the digital face printing tech on this comic figure is excellent. It looks like a comic character brought into the 3D world. And this was a character I really needed. I know that there's some controversy about the costume not being 100% accurate to the New Warriors look, but having Justice for my New Warriors collection was a must. We have nearly completed that team, and it's thanks to getting him recently. And now if they do end up doing other costumes or more accurate New Warriors costumes, this one will go with my Avengers collection for sure. So either way, I'm happy with getting this Justice figure. Now the bad for this Justice figure is the cape is really stiff. Like, I just sang the praises of it being integrated into the figure really well, but the stiffness of this cape makes it a little bit harder to get those flying poses, or it's like leg kicked back when he's in flight or something like that. It's just stiff and hard to work with. If it was just a little bit more rubbery, I would have had a better experience posing him in flight. And then he needed some accessories, like some energy effects or a different expression for the head. Maybe have one that's more happy and one that's more angry. Right now we just have a kind of stern off to the side expression, which is fine, but giving us options would have been really nice. The only accessories he has are a set of fists and a set of kind of relaxed hands, which you can do some things with, but giving us energy effects or more faces to really convey emotion in the moment would have been really nice to get. So with that, I'm going to give this Justice figure a 7.5 out of 10. He's got a lot of good going for him, but a lot of, not bad per se, but just a lot of points against him to kind of hinder an experience with the figure. So with all of that now said, what is the fun factor with these three figures? Who has it, who doesn't? I would say Joe Fixit and Rogue do not. I had a little bit of trouble getting them into the poses I was looking for. Where with Justice, I'm going to say yes, he does have fun factor despite him not having the accessories I was hoping for, or the accessories that would improve an experience with him. I was still looking for more poses to do with him and wanting to take more photos of him. It was just a matter of he's missing something to really enhance the photos I was taking. So, Joe Fixit and Rogue, no. Justice, yes, in terms of fun factor. But that is just my thoughts. You leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure while you're down there, you click that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.